What's up, guys? I hope all of you are doing great. And today we are going to learn the topic, or you can say in the programming class today. We learned about what are classes and objects, and what we did today was we were supposed to make a program. We also practiced that program in the class and then in the lab as well. And then the teacher gave us that program, gave a program to us to do it at home and bring it the next day. But tomorrow is a holiday, so we are supposed to bring it on the Wednesday, so the day after tomorrow. And so the program which we were supposed to do at home was about the area of circles, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the program which we did in the class, and I'll explain what I'm doing. So first, let's in this program first let's use using namespace std, so we don't have to write std with every cout, cin and else statement. Alright, now what we are going to do, I am considering the fact that you guys already know what classes are, what objects are, and everything that the teacher explained in the class. So I'm not going to explain every single bit of it. I'm just going to give you a little background story of what they are. So class is basically you can say the model where you define. So object resemble the real world objects. For example, here I'm going to make an object. I want to make an object of I want to make a class of a student. So in that class, from that student class, I can create as many objects as I would like, but I cannot use that object inside the class, because class is basically, you can say, the model or the map of the object. So object, for object there are two things necessary. One is the state, you can say the data inside the object, what data resides in that object, or what kind of data does that object deal with. And the second thing is your behavior or the response which they, or the use of that object. What does that object do? So in the class, what we are going to, so, and what is the syntax of the class? So first we write class, and then the class, for example, I say student, so the s of the student is going to be capital. And then I'm going to say, I'm going to initiate opening and closing brace, and after the closing brace you always have to put so this is an exception, you have to put the semicolon after the closing brace. Then what you do, teacher told us that you have to write the public, this public reserve word. So basically what it does, it makes it makes this class and the objects public to you, so you can use it anywhere in the code, but we haven't studied it yet, so we are going to study that in the class. So we're just going to skip this, so you have to put a colon after this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to define my object. So I'm defining my object, a general object. So I'll be using this object as many times as I will like. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to define this object. Alright, so what error is giving me? So it is telling me that expected member name or semicolon after declaration. Semicolon after declaration. Alright, let's see. Alright, so public. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to declare my I'm going to describe the state of what this object name, the object that's going to be named student, what is going to do. So let's say the state, or I'm going to define the object. I'm just writing the state. So first one is int, and then I say that int, for example, I say the roll number. So I'm going to say, or you can say the string the string. So first you have to mention the file as well. So hash include string, and the left angle and right angle bracket. Alright, so string name. So I declared string name. Then what I'm going to do is going to declare the roll number, let's say. So roll number. So this is the state, or you can say the data that this type of data is going to be held by the object. So int roll number, let's say int bash number. Alright, so this was the data which is going to be held by the object. Now what about the response? What do we want that object to do? So for that, let's say, so the data of the object is called the state of the object, and the function which, or you can say the behavioral sorry, the response which that object gives, you can say that is called the member functions. So let's create functions. For example, we want to first set, so we are going to create two functions. One is going to set the values of each variable, because whenever we are describing or declaring or designing an object into a class, we cannot give it a value. We always have to use variables, because you are going to create a ton of you can say many objects of the same class, and you don't want every object to have the same value. So that is why you create you declare the variables instead of declaring the values. So let me create the function. So first of all, we are going to set the value. So this function I'm going to create, for example, let's say that void I'll say set info. So set the values or set info, and then I'm going to give it the parameters. So let's say, so the first parameter is going to be string a, let's say. Then it's going to be int b and int c. So there I have my three parameters, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy each of the value which I'm going to get as an actual parameter of this formal parameter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that value into the variables I've declared here. So let's say for name, so name I copy a. So for name I copy a because that's a string. For b, for the roll number, I copy b, and for the bash number I copy c, the value of c into my bash number. Alright, so what this function is going to do is this function is going to take the actual parameters from the main function, and always remember that you guys that you don't declare the you don't make a class into your main function, because system is going to give you an error. You always have to make it above the main function, so before the main function, and you don't also you don't make the class after the main function, not so you cannot make it both inside the main function and also the after the main function. So you always have to make it before the main function. Alright, so this function is going to set the values of each of these variables I've declared above. Now I'll create another function which is going to get the value, or which is going to output the value of each variable. So get info, let's say this is the function, and then this is going to have an empty parameters list, because I'm just using it to output the value. So cout I'll say cout name, equals, and then I'll write name, that is the, because I've copied the value of a, which was the actual parameter, into the variable name, so I can write name, then this, then I'll say cout, I'll say the roll number, so roll number equals b, no, not b, roll number. So yes, this, so I don't have to write this underscore here because that's the string, so that is going to, I've done a mistake in the syntax here. You always have to take care of the syntax, because one single mistake can mess up your whole code. So you always have to look for the missing semicolons or the missing angle brackets or stuff like that. So because a little mistake can mess up the whole code, so you have to take into consideration. So bash number equals, and I'll just copy this here and then end. Alright, so now I'm done with creating my class, and in that class you have the state of the object is defined right here, that is the string, that is the telling. So student is a class. You can have many objects of this class. The object, the type of the object, the state, and the behavioral functions of the object, I've described them here. So it's going to have a name, it's going to have a roll number, it's going to have a bash number. That is the state of the object. Now what I want from this object, or you can say the behavioral response of this object, will be that is going to output the name, the roll number, and the bash number of that specific student. So let me all right, so how do you write the class and the specific objects in the main function? You do that. So first you write the class, and after a space you write the so whatever name you want to give to that specific object. For example, I want to say S1. So now I have declared an object in the main function. So I've defined the class before the main function, so that means it's going to recognize that alright, so it's going to say alright, so student is a class and S1 is an object. So I've created one object, a single object of the class student. So you see the color turned green, so that means it's recognizing the class and S1 is the object. Alright, and how do you use that use the specific objects and with their specific functions in the main? So you say S1 dot, and then for example I say set info, and in set string I say Talha Beg, that's my name, and int b, I'll say so it was roll number, so my roll number is 22, and in C, that's my batch number is 21. Alright, so I'm done with the part where it sets the info. Now what we are just left with is we're almost done, so we are left with S1, and it's going to be get info, and that is just going to output the value. Alright, let's compile this program and let's see if it has any errors so we can fix it. I don't think we have any errors, so it's compiled, and now as you can see, the output of this program is name, so it's showing me the name equals Talha Beg, that is and then roll number, my roll number is 22, and bash number, that is 21, and then the program ended with the exit code 0. Alright guys, so this was the program which we did in the class. I thought of explaining it here so you guys can have an idea, or you guys can follow whatever you guys couldn't in the class. I hope this helps, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Till then, bye bye.